Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Bouncing Back with Brighton. In today's episode, going to take on Spurs in the Premier League and Krasnodar in the Champions League. There's been a few fixtures since the last time we met and we're sort of stumbling a little bit without being a complete catastrophe. So after that Wolves game in the last episode, we followed that up with an away tie against Chelsea and we were incredibly fortunate to get away with a draw in this one. Diogo Aquino scored in the 93rd minute to mean we get a point from this. It was almost our first defeat in the league this season. But we did play reasonably well. A draw was probably a fair result on reflection, but draws are no good. We need wins. We then played Krasnodar in the Champions League, our first tie against them away from home, and we comfortably won this one 2-0. Ryan Gravenberch and Sebastian Jaros with the goals for us. And then another hugely disappointing result in the Premier League. Not a defeat, but another draw, 2-2 at home against West Ham United. And again, it took a 93rd minute equaliser from Mbolo this time to actually get us a point, which was crazy considering how much we dominated this game. West Ham didn't really create anything. They had that 3-minute period where they went 2-1 up, and I thought, this is going to be it. We're in this sort of period during the season. You have them every season where your team's just struggling. They're not creating enough chances. They're not scoring the goals. But thankfully, we didn't get beat. But again, another 2 points dropped. And finally, we played a completely rotated side against West Ham again, this time away from home in the League Cup 4th round, and we completely destroyed them without being half as dominant as we were in the previous game. Rodrigo Marquez started up top and got himself 4 goals. Ibrahim, our new signing, he hasn't hit the ground running. Marquez is going to start for today's game. He's got to after this match. So after them fixtures, we are currently sitting in 3rd position in the Premier League. We're 4 points behind Liverpool, but we do have a game in hand. But we're 3 points behind Man City, and we don't have a game in hand. These draws are really coming back to bite us. We're still undefeated. We're the only undefeated team still left in the league. But if we continue drawing the way we are, particularly against teams that we should be beating like West Ham, it's going to be a rough season. And the first game today is against Spurs. They have won 5, drew 1, lost 4. Who have they been? Liverpool, Burnley, Man City, Chelsea. Sort of reasonable, apart from Burnley. So it's going to be a tough game. Tottenham are one of the best sides in the league. Let's get into it. So in terms of our starting lineup for today's game, this is how we're going to line up. Antonio Carlos will start in goal. Thomas Tavares, Gonçalves, Julic and Neves in the defence. Bentley and Aquino will sit in that centre of midfield spot with Sebastian Jaros, Gravenberch, Doku in the attack midfield areas, and Rodrigo Marquez, after his good last game, will start. Ibrahim drops to the bench. So Tottenham come at us with the 4-1-2-3. Pretty standard formation for EI managers on this game. Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Yannick Carrasco, Eriksen, Almendra. Pretty much a standard Spurs side without too many changes. Rajkovic in goal. Pirulito I've never seen. He looks pretty special left back. Very, very talented physically at the very least. We should have the beating of these, honestly. I mean, I know we're away from home. We're not in the best of form, but I want to win. So Spurs kick off. We are shooting from right to left in this first half. Let's see how we get on. Free kick for us 4 minutes in. Gravenberch plays it in. It's cleared by Foyth, but the Spurs defence doesn't handle it very well, and we can claim the ball back on the left-hand side with Abilio Neves, and our left-back gets his 2nd goal of the season. That was an absolutely fantastic finish. An assist by our centre-back, Mark Julic. It was a decent pass out to the left-hand side. Spurs just didn't deal with the free kick at all whatsoever. Gravenberch finds Julic. Julic finds Abilio Neves, and this at the near post. The keeper will probably be a little bit disappointed, but I think that's pretty much unsavable at the roof of the net. 1-0. And with that, we are going to go to a more balanced approach, dropping from the positive. Spurs were dominating possession in the first 5 or 10 minutes or so. So let's just drop back a little bit, try and return possession, and see if we can control this game. Another highlight now, 29 minutes in, and it's Brighton coming down the left-hand side once again. Comes back to Bentley, tries to find Rodrigo Marquez over the top, and Rajkovic claims. It looks like this highlight was actually a Spurs attack all along. Carrasco switches the player to the left back on that left-hand side. Harry Kane is there. Easily beats Antonio Carlos at the near post. A little bit disappointing there. I kind of feel like if we're not beating Harry Kane at the ball first time with our defence, Antonio Carlos should be bailing us out a little bit there. But Sebastian Jaros is the one tracking back on that right-hand side. Kane beats his man, and Carlos sort of flaps at that. He should be saving it. Going by the match stats, we're not playing too badly. We're not completely dominant this game whatsoever. Disappointing to go in at 1-1, but we'll see how things go. No changes just yet. Nobody's having a horrific game. Aquino now finds Neves on this left-hand side, 51 minutes in. Decent tackle. Jeremy Doku can keep it in play. What's happening here? Gravenberch. Loads of space on the right-hand side for Tavares, but Aquino cuts back into Bentieb, who does find Tavares this time. He's taking the strike. Oh, now we're right back and now we're left back are the two players to get the goals in today's game. Thomas Tavares' first goal of the season. I think that must be, he must be in double figures for his career at Brighton now. He's often scored from that right-hand side. Bentieb does well to find him in a pocket of space here. Dele Alli is just not tracking back whatsoever, as you would imagine. And Rajkovic cannot get the end of that. 2-1. With 20 minutes to go, we'll look to make some changes. Gravenberch, naturally, is struggling in the attack midfield spot, so we'll get Bert Jacobs on in his place. In terms of people who are not performing very well, Rodrigo Marquez, he got his opportunity today, hasn't really taken it, so we'll bring on Ibrahim in the striker position as Eriksson goes for goal. Antonio Carlos saves Foyth again. Good blocks. I'm going on the counter here. I'm going cautious. I cannot be having this. 10 minutes to go, we'll make our final change. Sebastian Yaros isn't having a great game either. We'll bring on Roberto Alvarado on that right-hand side. And there is another highlight. Bert Jacobs drives forward for us after dispossessing Tottenham, but we get dispossessed ourselves and Son is in behind. And Antonio Carlos provides another save to keep us in the lead. It's highlight after highlight. It's Spurs corner after corner. Please win this. We do. Can we get rid? End of highlight, please. It was. Champion. With only 3.5 minutes to go, there is another highlight, and it's Spurs again on the attack with Oliver Skip back to Christian Eriksen. Finds whatever his name is on the right-hand side. Get rid Alvarado. Be composed. Keep possession. Thomas Tavares gives it away. It's sloppy. Really, really sloppy. Thankfully, that attack didn't turn into anything. I was a little bit angry, so I didn't really commentate it. Final 15 seconds of the game. As long as we can withstand this attack, we will go away with 3 points, but they're in the box. Good challenge by Abilio Neves. And there we have it. Full time. Tottenham 1, Brighton 2. A really, really good away result against a decent Spurs side. That leads us nicely into our next game against Krasnodar in the Champions League. We sit in second position in the Premier League after that game. Man City did not play, so the likelihood is we will drop back down after they've played that game. But still unbeaten. 3 draws is a little bit disappointing, but after 11 games or so, you sort of realise where your team lies in terms of quality level of the league, and I'm relatively happy with those. So we are back for the Krasnodar game. We are at home, and you're actually going to see a few different players play today. We're playing a fully rotated side. I think we should have enough to be able to beat them at home. We currently sit top of our Champions League group on 7 points. Olympic Lyon beat Real Madrid. That is very, very nice to see. So we are sort of in control of today's group. I am taking a little bit of a risk playing a rotated side, but I think our second string is getting to the point where it is close in quality to our first choice. So Jack Butland will start in goal. Jayden Bogle at right back. Nathan Wood and Badia Shale at centre back with Abilio Neves. He's not starting left back. Carlos Julio is going to start left back. Jordan Henderson and Marco Bulat will be our central midfielders for today's game. Mbalo and Alvarado on the wings with Bert Jacobs in behind Rodrigo Marquez, who will lead the line. We've still got some of our talented players on the bench. Gravenberch, Neves, Aquino, Darius Courtney, Mark Julich, Bentieb and Ibrahim will be brought on if necessary. I'm going to take Ibrahim off actually and bring on Sebastian Yaros on our bench just in case we need some more pace down the wings. I think we played a quite rotated side against them away from home, so I'm not too worried in terms of their quality. It's just whether we're going to have the quality to be able to break them down if they're set up quite defensively, which it looks like they will be. So we kick off. We are shooting from left to right in this first half. Again, we are at home, so I am expecting 3 points. We are going to keep an eye on just our league table. I just want to say it. Real Madrid getting beat off Olympic Lyon is absolutely huge. We'll have a look through the other Champions League teams as well as the game sort of progresses. As there is an early highlight for us. 9 minutes in, Mbalo with a corner. It's cleared, but it comes back out to him. That's very fortunate. Falls to Alvarado. Marquez is in the box. He's clinical in that 6-yard area. And he puts us 1-0 up with his 7th goal of the season. I think he's only started about 5 games. So that is quite impressive. Mbalo was incredibly fortunate to even be in possession at this point. They should have lost the ball. But Alvarado finds Marquez. And we go 1-0 up. Yeah, so like to PSG, Borussia Dortmund in that group. Monaco, Juventus, is there any surprises really? I don't think there is. It looks like pretty much the best 2 teams in every group are going through. Rodrigo Marquez goes close for us there. But a nice good start for us 15 minutes in. Getting us 1-0 up against the defensive side is absolutely fantastic. Might draw them out a little bit more and we can maybe take advantage of that. They haven't really changed formation since they've went 1-0 down. They're still in the defensive 4-4-2. I would imagine their two strikers are quite isolated at times. Doesn't look like the wingers are pushing on either, as there's another highlight. Bert Jacobs finds Alvarado on the left-hand side, and Roberto Alvarado proves he has still got it when he gets some game time on the field. He gets his 4th goal of the season, a decent assist by Bert Jacobs to round things up. Badiashile with a good header there to win the ball for us and keep us in possession. Jacobs has been doing well when Gravenberch hasn't been in the team, and I really, really want to give him some more game time because I think he's got the potential to surpass Gravenberch. Another highlight now, it looks like Jordan Henderson gets in, does his defensive duties and wins us the ball. Bert Jacobs drives forward through the centre, decent challenge, but then Barlow takes a strike. What a save by Hansen, hits the post. That was a fantastic strike, unfortunate not to go in the back of the net. And there we are, half-time, Brighton 2, Krasnodar 0. No need for any changes, nobody's struggling, nobody is playing poorly, so we'll keep our second string out and see if they can do some more of the same in the second half. Krasnodar come forward now, find Kramaric up top from the left-hand side. Jaden Bogle, though, manages to dispossess the player on that left-hand side, and now he can win the ball. Tries to find Rodrigo Marquez, but it falls to Marco Bulat. Back to Jaden Bogle on this right-hand side. Back to Mbalo. Can you feed... Nah, I thought he was going to feed Bogle again and get the cross in, but Mbalo might end up going for a strike here if he wins the ball again. Henderson goes for it, and he hits the bar. Going close. It would have been nice to see him get his first goal for Brighton. With 12 minutes or so to go, let's see who's struggling the most. Of course, it's our attacking midfielder. I think both our attacking midfielders must have the worst natural fitness on the game. We'll bring on Abilio Neves instead of Carlos Julio at that left-back role, and probably stay out the rest of the game here. Only 15 minutes to go. Final sub of the game. We'll bring off Marco Bulat. We'll bring on Bentieb in that central midfield role. A little bit unusual for him. Not often he plays in the central midfield. He's usually in the defensive midfield role. But he is quite comfortable there, and he can play there if needed. This will be the final highlight of the game. Only 30 seconds remain. We are in possession. Likelihood is it's not going to lead to a thing. We've got a VAR decision. Might be a penalty, might not be. Probably not. And the referee says it's outside the box, so it's just a free kick for us. This should be the final player of the... Well, he's not even going to let us take the free kick. Never mind. Brighton 2, Krasnodar 0. Decent result. Our second string done pretty well there. I'm pretty pleased with how they performed. Obviously, with Leon beating Real Madrid, that puts us in the driving seat for this group. As you can see, we sit in top in Group F on 10 points, and Real Madrid are sitting in second on 7 points. So it all sort of comes down to that final game against Real Madrid. So that's when we're going to come back. I think we'll do Olympic Lyon away from home and Real Madrid in the next episode. Decide the Champions League group and see who we face in the next round. That's assuming we'll get through. We're not actually qualified yet. Anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.